Well, Singapore's second gold medal of the Games had all the elements of a Hollywood movie. In the women's individual epee event, Debutant Elle Koh defeats the defending champion and compatriot Kiria Tikanah by a single point. And an added twist, Koh's father coaches both fencers. Koh is also the second youngest Singaporean athlete at the Games. Alif Amshah has more from the Hanoi Indoor Games Gymnasium.
Elle Koh on the left is only 14, and this is only her third overseas competition. Her opponent, Kiria Tikanah, the defending champion and Olympian. Despite being the underdog in what was an all-Singapore individual epee final, Koh kept her cool. Taking the early lead, she went up 5-3 against a more seasoned opponent. Things then levelled up 7-all. She then lost the lead and fell behind by 2 points. The bout was level at 11-all and eventually Koh prevailed 12-11 to take gold.
I'll be very honest, I really didn't expect to win at all. I was totally, completely prepared to lose. But I was I just want a good score.
I was expecting a really hard fight going to the finals, and we know each other very well. We had the same coach, so it was going to be a very tough match. But I think for today, she was the better fencer.
That same coach is none other than Koh's father.
I was actually very analytical about it. I was sitting in the stands watching and videoing it because the job is never really done. I'm going to go back and actually go through the video with them to see where they went wrong. We still have the team event coming up, so there's going to be some homework to do.
And the ties that bind both fencers go beyond their time on the piste, even after the upset.
I don't think that our friendship will change because of this. We are going to have to fence each other a lot more times, so there's going to be times when I would win, there are going to be times when she would win.
I really have a lot of respect for Kiria as a fencer and as a person. I think she's a very kind and sweet person. So I hope that our relationship still maintains really close and we can support each other.
In the semi-final, Koh also produced a performance worthy of a champion. She had nerves of steel as she defeated Vu Thi Hong in front of a boisterous home crowd 15-14.
Well, let's stay on this happy development a little more. We're joined by Nicholas Fang. He is a former athlete who represented Singapore in this very sport. Nick, welcome. First of all, the joy on the girls' face is evident, but what was your reaction as a former fencer when Elle Koh grabbed that gold today?
Well, certainly a bit of a thrill because I was actually invited by Henry, the national coach, who started fencing together with me at the same time in school. He said, please come down and do a bit of sparring with the athletes. So I actually sparred a fair bit with both Elle and Kiria and some of the other members of the team. So to see all the hard work that they put in, the sacrifices, as we all know, athletes have to put in to achieve a gold medal, and finally pay off at the Games, I think that was a really, really heartening moment. But as Henry was saying, the job is not done yet. There's still a team event. There's also the other weapon groups who are all competing as well. So I think we're looking forward to some really exciting fencing in the next few days.
I can imagine, but is your sense that there's a kind of momentum building behind fencing from this Games, but even way before, back in the previous SEA Games, that fencing might actually become the new swimming for Singapore?
Well, I think certainly there's some momentum. In 2015, when the SEA Games were in Singapore and I was the chef de mission, then the fencers put on a really good show. And the last SEA Games in 2019, they actually topped the medal table with 4 golds and a whole bunch of silvers and bronzes as well. So I was just texting Henry a little bit earlier today, and I was saying, do you think we have a chance to top the table again? And he said, well, we should definitely aim for that. But there's one of our Olympians, Kiria, of course, was in Tokyo for the Olympics for women's epee, and Amita Berthier was there too for women's foil. Amita couldn't get time away from her school. to come and take part. So the women's foil team is down one Olympian, with a great amount of experience and really good form. So I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge to see whether we can top the medal table again, but we're certainly hoping for that. Now, can fencing become the new swimming? Swimming has 40 events, fencing has 12, including the individual and team events. So even if we win all, I think it's not going to bring the kind of medal haul that our swimmers normally do at the SEA Games.
Yeah. But let's focus on the positive for now. And if I was to ask, could you pinpoint, specify anything or particular point that's led to increase in this haul of medals from fencing? And if we were to keep going on this trajectory, at least, what's the future of the sport here?
I think the sport of fencing has certainly matured from the time when I was the president of the federation till now. We've seen a greater uptake of the sport in schools, for example. There are many more clubs who are doing very successful and very good work building elite athletes. And of course, the Singapore Sports School is churning out some really good fencers as well. I know the men's sabre team and the women's sabre team are featuring some really good athletes from the sports school. Very young, a lot of debutants, but they're showing a lot of grit as well. So I think having a really good ecosystem has certainly been one of the key drivers for the sport success in Singapore. A lot of good work was done by the National Federation. One thing that we didn't mention was, besides having her dad as the national coach, Elle's mom is also the president of the federation, and also running a club where both Elle and Kiria are training. So it's all really all in the family. But I think we've just seen, the sport become more popular. We've had 2 athletes qualify for the Olympics outright. And I think more and more people are being drawn to the sport, and more young people as well. So that's a trend that we certainly hope to see continue in the years ahead.
Nick, got to thank you for giving us that perspective on what was a very happy day for Singapore today. Thanks for that. That was former Singapore national fencer Nicholas Fang.